Hi, so this is Janelle with Toons Unlimited, and I thought for this tutorial I would teach you how to make a more realistic eye blink. And for this example, I created two versions of an eye blink. Right now we're currently in Flash because in order to do a more realistic eye blink, you would need to first draw eye expressions that make a more realistic eye blink. So here's a character's face that I created, and we're going to go into the left eye so you can see the various stages. I'm just going to kind of zoom in a little bit so you can see them close up. And so in this case, this is the normal eye. Eye is just wide open. We have a tight closed expression. We have a relaxed eye closed expression. And then the rest of these sprites are just how we get a better ease into a closed eyelid. So for the first one, to make a tight blink, you want your eyes slowly closing from both the top and the bottom. So here we have them at, like 1/4, and probably like 2/3, and then you would switch to the closed expression. And then for the next set, you have it kind of again 1/4, 2/3, 3/4, and close. Now, of course, this does not count the normal expressions like sad, angry, scared, smiley, happy, angry, raised cheek. When doing these eye expressions, these will be additional expressions you would add to your character. However, the animation is much more appealing, and the cool thing is if you make these expressions and you tie it to, let's say, see how many additional, 1, 2, 4, 5. So you add sprite number 14 through 18 or 19, however, it's 18 of them total. You can create your script, and anytime you want his eyes to blink, you can just right click and save that animation as a script, and you won't have to do the keyframing anymore. And if you add it to all of your new characters, of course, you can add that same action script to your new characters, and since they're saved in the same order, once again, you won't have to do this animation anymore. But these are the expressions that you would kind of need to get it done. Now, same thing as if you're doing an angry expression, for example, depending on how the eyelid is closed, whether it's further down or whether it's in the middle, you can still use those same frames, and you'll have two different variations to close the eyes. So this is the expressions you would need. What I'm going to do is basically this guy is broken up, but he's not in the proper pieces to show up in Crazy Talk Animator. I have a little bit of work I still need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is finish staging the eyes the way it needs to be staged in order to work in Crazy Talk Animator. So got my image layer, my pupil layer, and a mask layer. So this one's done. And I'm going to fast forward through this real quick as I go ahead and complete the rest of these expressions. I'm going to break all the pieces up and get them ready for Crazy Talk Animator. And then when I come back, I will show you how to do the animation for a more realistic eye blink. This is the main thing to worry about. Okay, so now that we have our character in Crazy Talk Animator and ready to create a custom blink, the first thing we're going to do is probably go about 5 frames in, and then on frame number 6, let's go into the sprite editor. And for the first one, we're going to work on a normal eye blink. So let's see how this imported in. Okay, so for the most part, could have been cleaned up a little bit, but everything imported in okay. So for the first frame with a normal eye blink, it's going to be this first one. So we're going to hold it for 2 frames, go to frame 8, go to the next one, hold it for 2 frames, go to frame 10, hold it for 2 frames, and then on frame 12 it will be completely closed. We're going to hold it for 2 frames. So on 14, he will start to open his eyes back. However, we go 2 frames, every 2 frames going down, but 1 frame going back up, because you blink slow, but when you open your eyes up, you open them up quickly. So we're going to go here, 15 here, 16 here, and then by frame 17, we should be back to normal. And we're just going to hold that for a few more frames and stop at frame 20. Now that's just one eye, but if I just confine my frames to 20 frames and play it, let's see how it looks. And we can have it loop. It's much better blink. And so we're just going to go ahead so that when we save this script, we have both eyes done. Let's just go ahead and repeat the same expressions just with the other eye. There you go. All right, so now that we have that expression saved up. See if I can still remember how to do this. Let's go into, I want to save this whole clip. This facial clip. And I believe we just go from here to here. Or not. Here we go. Okay, so export facial motions and just put normal blink. And now I'm hoping I can go ahead and delete all of the expressions we just did. Test to make sure he's not blinking. I'm going to go to the 20 frames. And now let's go into our motions and see if we can find that custom facial blink real quick. Normal blink. And there we go. Beautiful. So now that we have a normal blink, you can go under Action Menu Editor, and then go under, let's see here, Face. Where are you? Let's see here. It's probably under Shared or Custom. Here we go. Custom, Face, and Normal Blink. So now this character you can right click and tell it to do an instant normal blink. Perfect, right? Now we need to do animation. Now we need to do a tight blink and save that facial animation as well. We're 5 frames in. On frame 6, we'll start the blink. Two frames in. Go to here. 2 frames in. We will go tight. And as you can see, I could have cleaned this up a little bit more, done more line work. It's really up to you. This was just for tutorial purposes, so not as pretty as if I was selling this character. But we're going to go 2 more frames in. On frame 12, we'll start to open the eyes. So we'll go here, here. Oh, I'm sorry. We're no longer doing 2s opening the eyes, so it's 12. Then on frame 13, and on frame 14, it's back to normal. And we'll just let it repeat for the whole 20 frames. You may want to stop it, at 16 frames, just in case you want somebody to blink twice pretty quickly. Adjust this to 16, and we'll see how this blink looks. Much better. The only thing is, let me pause it. Because we're using less frames, I want to hold the closed frame a little longer. So instead of holding it for 2 frames, let's hold it for 2 more. Let's bring you back close and bring you back close. So on 14, we will start to open it. And there we go. And just to have a little cushion, I'm going to crank this up to 18. That way the eye stays open just a little longer. And we can test the animation. That's better. So the last thing we'll do is match the eye expressions up and then save the motions. Right, bring in our editor again, starting from frame 1. Just go ahead and collect the clip. Right click, export facial motion. Call this one tight link. And then once again, go under action menu, click on the plus sign to add a new one, and we will add type link to it. Oh, we lost normal link. We just go ahead and add that. And we're done. So this guy now has 2 blinks he can do. And I'm just going to give it a few frames. And you see him do a type link. Oh, it's on loop. Okay. So he'll do his type link, and then he would do a normal blink. Now, if you add this into him looking around, or if you want to do a facial turn and you want a more realistic turn, it's always good to blink your eyes as your character is turning from one direction to another. You have now a built-in blink. You won't have to focus on the animation for the eyes. Instead, you will focus on just the animation for the head turn. So this completes this tutorial. Hope you enjoy it, incorporate it into your new characters, and see just how much more of a realistic animation you can get from adding a more natural blink. Take care.